Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto Conversation. So there have been a lot of questions on the recent statement that was made by one of the ministers in India, and the statement was this. Statement was Bitcoin's Ethereum not a legal tender. And after this statement came out, there have been people who are investing into it or who are studying about cryptocurrencies. They have been worried. And I have got a lot of questions from various people saying that what do I have to say on that. So this is the video for that as well. Now I want to be straightforward and say that I completely agree with the statement that was made. I mean, there was nothing new, honestly, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrencies were never ever a legal tender. It's not like a demonetization that just happened and everybody is worried. So this is an old news. This was never a legal tender, and it's not a legal tender now. And in fact, I want to go a step further, and I want to add that cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin can never ever be termed as a legal tender. Never ever. Not even in the future. Why do I say that? I will tell you those points in the video ahead. Now before that, it has also raised a concern, and the concern is big. I don't know what is the percentage of the people, but I think the larger percentage of the people who are investing into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchain assets, they have no idea where they're putting their money in. Though they are investing, but they have no clue what exactly the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and blockchain is all about. And that's like a huge concern. That's not healthy for them, first of all, because it's really dangerous to be putting your money into something that you don't understand first. Secondly, it's not good for the entire ecosystem of blockchain. It's not healthy for both of them, not for the investor, not for this blockchain economy as well. So we will dive into all that. Now again, I want to make a disclaimer that everything that I say here is just my personal opinion, not a financial investment or legal or tax advice, just my opinion. And I would like to open this topic for further discussion as well with you guys and find out and know about your opinion, and can be entirely wrong. I can be entirely wrong here, and that is what I want to hear from you as well. So this video can be a little longer, so do bear with me. So let's start with defining what is a legal tender. So when we say that Bitcoin cryptocurrencies are not a legal tender, first we need to understand what is a legal tender. Now if I go and as per the Wikipedia definition of legal tender, I want to read this out. So as per the Wikipedia, a legal tender is a medium of a payment recognized by the legal system to be valid for meeting a financial obligation. Paper currency and coins are common forms of legal tender in many countries. Underline these words. Paper currency and coins are common forms of legal tender in many countries. Now ahead. Legal tender is variously defined in different jurisdictions. Formally, it is anything which, when offered in payment, extinguishes the debt. Thus, personal checks, credit cards, and similar non-cash methods of payment are not usually a legal tender. Can you underline these three words? That the personal checks, credit cards, and similar non-cash method of payment are not usually a legal tender. Guys, there is a huge message here. Even credit card is not a legal tender. Whether checks is not a legal tender. How do you expect cryptocurrencies to be a legal tender? It is not, and it cannot be. Not because these are not, because cryptocurrencies have some special characteristics which are much beyond it being a legal tender, and it can never be a legal tender. And so we'll step into that. Now first of all, let's understand what is a cryptocurrency, right? So when we say that cryptocurrencies should be termed as a legal tender, first we need to understand. So we just understood what is a legal tender. Now we need to understand what is a cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is nothing but it's a digital cryptographic code of a technological project, right? Let it be Ethereum, let it be Bitcoin, let it be IOTA, let it be Neo, or whatever. And they are just a digital computer code. Now, the uses, the value of these digital codes, the value of these tokens is not constant, and it cannot be constant, because why do you think the price of Ethereum is about $800 today? It's because there are applications which are being built on top of Ethereum. And don't be surprised if the Ethereum price continues to grow, because there will be many more applications which will be being built on Ethereum. So is for IOTA, so is for Neo, right? So cryptocurrencies are nothing but it's a cryptographic code which you hold and which provides you access to its network. And it cannot be termed as a legal tender. For anything to be termed as a legal tender, the value has to be constant. Now, here in the Wikipedia it was mentioned that usually the coins and the paper are termed as a legal tender. Why coins and papers? Because the coin is just a metal. Whatever you number put on it, so you can put it like a $10 or $100, it would be labeled as money. A paper note, you can term this as a $100, a $1,000, a $2,000 note, that it is termed as money. So the value of a legal tender, value of a paper currency or a metal currency comes from the random number which is being labeled onto it, right? Which has been predefined. But the cryptocurrencies are not predefined. The value of a cryptocurrency comes from its uses, application, and use cases rather, and which can just go on increasing as the uses of Ethereum network increases. So there is a huge difference between what cryptocurrencies are and what people perceive it to be. First of all, to call it a currency itself is a wrong statement, I think. They should rather be called as crypto assets rather than calling them a currency. Now, currency, when you call it a currency, you're not only confusing people, but you're also not doing anything good for these crypto assets. So I would rather call them a crypto assets than calling it a currency. A currency is when the price is stable. Like for a $100, the $100 bill will always be $100. It will never go to $200, right? So a currency is something which is accepted everywhere and which value is constant, whereas crypto assets does not have a constant value and also are dynamic in nature, means their prices goes up as per the application uses. So cryptocurrencies can never ever be termed as a legal tender. In simple words, the cryptocurrencies lack the characteristics of being termed as a legal tender, or maybe I would say that maybe they are much more advanced than to be termed as a legal tender. They are just too good to be termed as a legal tender. For anything to be legal tender, you need a neutral object. You need a paper note which is neutral. Whatever you label it on, $100, $200, it remains that way. Even if a metal, you want to put it a coin, it remains that way. You need a neutral object to be termed as a legal tender. Whereas the cryptocurrencies are nothing but the digital code of a dynamic project which is still in the process, by the way, building up, and which value will keep rising, so cannot be termed as a legal tender, right? So it does not have the same characteristics. In fact, it is too good to be termed as a legal tender, right? Now, okay, so I have made some note which I want to go through because I want to cover everything that's possible. Now let's talk about how were the legal tender bonds? Legal tender were born, right? So if you go back, and this is the story that we hear all the time if you're involved into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, you will know the history of money, that there used to be a barter system earlier, and then the money was created, and then now we are stepping into Bitcoin, right? So, but let's look at the entire story a little closely. So when there was a barter system, there was an issue. So what was the barter system about? So if I have some wheat, I could trade that for your rice. Or if I had some butter, I could trade that for milk, or whatever example you take, right? And that was not feasible, and that is when, to solve the problem of the exchange, this legal tender was born. And then these private organizations, these institutions, or these government organizations, they came up and decided, listen, you don't have to, let's make this as a currency, let's make this as a legal tender. So we'll put a random number on it, on this paper or on this coin, and everything will be valued against this. So your milk will be valued against this, your rice will be valued against this, your wheat will be valued against this, right? So you don't have to actually carry this stuff. So that solved the real problem of the barter system. Now what I think today is that we are stepping back into the barter system. Now you will say, I've got crazy, I've gone mad. How can we again get into a barter system? But that's exactly what we're doing, friend. When you trade your Ethereum for some Bitcoin, right? What are you doing? You're giving your Ethereum for Bitcoin. When you're trading your Ethereum for IOTA, you're not putting dollar, you're just giving your Ethereum for the IOTA. And it's not like that you have so much of Ethereum, you have to carry it somewhere and then give it and then take Bitcoins from it. It's not like a heavy load that you have to carry. It's all virtual, it's all cryptographic, it's all in the internet. Today, if you like your friend's picture on the Facebook, you don't go drive all the way to her house, knock the door and say, hey, I like you. You don't do that. You simply click on the like button and she knows that you liked her, right? And it's a virtual world, it's a cryptographic world. So the barter system is happening on the digital space. So if I want to exchange my IOTA codes with Ethereum code, I can do that. And that is what we are getting into. I believe that in the future, the money will be considered, something of money valuable will be considered, not because it has been labeled in that way fashion, like it has been labeled 100 rupees note or 500 rupees note or dollar note. It will be considered money because it is able to contribute to the world. It is creating possibilities. What I'm talking about, okay? What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Ethereum, for example, just to give an example, why Ethereum is increasing in value, because people are building stuffs on top of it. People are building applications on top of Ethereum. So there's a real application, there are real use cases of Ethereum, and that is why the price has gone up. There's no organization which came and said that, okay, let's sell Ethereum $1,000. No. The price, whatever price it has reached from $1 or $2, whatever, it is pure based on its applications. Same case with same examples with IOTA. You have IOTA getting tied up with the Microsoft Azure and other companies. Nobody labeled the price of IOTA or Ethereum or any other cryptocurrencies. If you have noticed this, all the prices that you have on the coinmarketcap.com, all the cryptocurrencies, their prices are directly proportional to its uses and partnerships that they do. So they have a real use cases, and that is why the price is going up, and it will keep growing up. So you cannot really make it a legal tender. For you to make something as a legal tender, its price has to be, you have to pick up a object which is neutral. For example, paper or maybe a metal. This cannot be termed as a legal tender. What it can be termed is a legal payment of method, and that's what Japan did. So there is a difference between a legal tender and legal payment of method. So if you go to Japan today, everyone talks about Japan legalizing Bitcoin. They have not accepted Bitcoin as a legal currency or legal tender. What they have said is that now you can trade. They have said that Bitcoin is an asset, is a digital asset, it's a virtual asset which you can trade for other things, for other products that you would like to. So Bitcoin is not a legal tender. So can that be done in India? Absolutely. Can that be termed as a legal payment method across the globe in any other country? Absolutely, that can be done. Right? That's quite possible. Now, can it be banned? Absolutely. If the government said that, okay, we don't want any conversion of fiat money going into these cryptographic assets, we are not okay with it, they can go ahead and ban exchanges, and there will be no conversion of fiat money into cryptographic assets. But does that mean that will kill Ethereum? Does that mean that will kill Bitcoin? No. Just imagine what happened in China. China has shut down all the cryptocurrency exchanges there. So there is no conversion of Chinese yuan or into any Bitcoin or Ethereum. But did Ethereum die? Did Bitcoin die? No. In fact, they have flourished even 10 times more. In fact, Bitcoin price has gone up right from 5 to 19,000 after they shut down the exchanges in China. And same is Ethereum. These cryptographic assets, these blockchain assets are independent of any country. They are not depending on what China is going to do, what India is going to do, what US is going to do, what Russia is going to do. These inventions will keep growing, these applications will keep happening, and so their value will keep rising. Always remember the difference between a legal tender and the cryptocurrencies are dynamic in nature. Its value is derived because of its application, its real use cases. Whereas a legal tender's value is derived because an organization, an institution has gone ahead and labeled, put a random number on top of it, and that is why it is called, right? Does that mean that having the virtual property, having the cryptographic assets are of no value? Not really. I mean, you see that WhatsApp was taken over by Facebook. That's a virtual property. Why would even Facebook pay? We are living in a digital world. We are living in a virtual world, and there is enough demand for intangible assets than the tangible assets, right? And the prices of these cryptocurrencies does not depend on what a country decides to do or does not decide to do. These are inventions which will continue to grow, and I do believe that in future. So again, to repeat myself, I think we are moved from barter to fiat money, which is centralized money. I think we are moving back to a barter, wherein this barter is all about exchange of these blockchain assets, the real use applications. So the money in future will be derived. If something of money, something of value has to be considered, it will be considered only on the basis of the performance, only on the basis of the contribution that they are making, they are able to make, only on the basis of change that they are going to bring, only on the basis of possibilities that they can make it happen. Not really because somebody went ahead and labeled a note, with some random numbers. I don't think that's the future of money. Again, that's just my personal opinion. How long? I don't know how long is this going to survive. But again, guys, so just to summarize everything that was said, everything that is in the news, that Bitcoin, Ethereum cryptocurrencies are not a legal tender, which is absolutely true. And in fact, don't expect them, because they cannot be legal tender, because they have a different characteristic. They are dynamic in nature. They are much more beyond the legal tender. Secondly, you can call it a virtual asset or digital assets, which have been defined in other countries. Hopefully it will be defined here as well. And secondly, I think the future is that we are again getting into a barter system, which is, by the way, it's a different barter system. It's not a physical goods barter system. It's a virtual goods barter system, right? So this was the message. I don't know whether I've been able to deliver what I wanted to say. There are a lot of things that I want to share with you. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Put your questions in the comment below, and do share your thoughts and opinions as well. And again, guys, the same message again. If you're investing into something, understand what exactly are you putting in money in. A lot of people will think that pursue Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies just to make a quick buck, but that's not, neglecting the technological and philosophical aspects of it. And I think that's really important, right? To understand where you're putting your money in. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe if you're new to this channel, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.